Another Wednesday evening is here. Thank you for tuning in to Strong and Sassy. Now, for many people, owning a land or building a home is one of, life's biggest dreams. But alongside that dream can come challenges, land disputes, housing scams, unsafe structures, and costly mistakes. We woke up to news of building collapses across Ghana, particularly during this rainy season. And it's raised serious concerns about construction standards, land suitability, building approvals, and housing safety, basically. For many, as I mentioned, buying a land, building a home, renting an apartment, it's a big deal, it's a thing. Yet many people do not know the warning signs to look out for before committing their hard-earned money. This edition of Strong and Sassy will explore the critical issues surrounding safe construction, land acquisition, real estate investments, and housing safely, or housing safety basically. Now, the discussion will help us understand how to protect ourselves from costly mistakes, identify potential risks before renting or buying property, and also make informed decisions when embarking on building projects. So today's conversation will also examine why buildings collapse, the role of regulatory bodies, the responsibilities of developers and property owners. It goes on and on and on. Well, I mentioned that we're here for a lot more education, a bit more understanding, so we're very informed moving forward. It's an interactive show, and we'll love to get your thoughts on this one. Our WhatsApp is live and active at 055 1111 997. Calling and contribute to our show, to our discussion tonight. And I'm asking, have you ever experienced a land dispute or property scam? If you have, how did you deal with it? Now, what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned about buying land or building a home? If you don't mind sharing that with us, we're all ears. 055 1111 997. Later on, we'll activate the phone lines for you to join in the conversation as well. Show's produced by Mirabel Johnson with assistance from Mavis Aheto. Social media, we've got Oliver Fanyo and Anakwe Kuemisa. We're streaming on our Facebook and on our YouTube as well. So join in. Now, my guests this evening, they're seated, they're all smiles. I read their profiles. I'm like, oh my God, ladies. I am in studio with some amazing people. I'm not going to lie. Wilhemina Forson is a surveyor. She's into valuation and estates and to property and facilities manager as well. We've got Lilian Nartey, who's founder and managing broker at Serene Aegis Realty. Good evening, ladies. How are you doing?
Good.
You're doing good.
Doing good, huh?
Yeah.
How was the day today? Like, traffic in any parts of, where you apply?
There's been so much traffic.
I know.
So much. It's
unbelievable.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you could make
come
it.
out yesterday because of the rain.
Because of the rain. They all came out.
Let me get some stuff done.
Yeah. I can imagine, because when I was coming to work earlier today, I actually also felt it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm racing with time. But thankfully, I got here within time, so that's good to know. But I'm glad to have you join us in studio. I mentioned that we woke up, a couple of weeks ago actually, where, flooding all over the country, buildings are being demolished, others are collapsing by themselves and stuff like that. And it's a conversation that we're still having, we're not done having yet. And so when my producer mentioned that, she's got some brilliant ladies that will be able to help us understand some of, the circumstances surrounding what we're facing. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's bring them and let's have this conversation. So let's do this, right? Step by step for someone who wants to, say, own a house or rent. First off, let's start with owning a house. Before you buy a land, what documents should, every buyer verify? Any of you can start for me.
Okay, so thank you for having us here.
You're welcome.
So when you're buying a land in Ghana, the first thing you need to do is to do a physical inspection of the land itself. The reason why this is important is because sometimes what you see online or what is presented to you may not be what is on ground. And so you need to do a physical inspection. And if possible, go with a surveyor. Because sometimes you're presented with a site plan, but your surveyor would take the coordinates of the land, the appropriate one that has been demarcated for you. And so they will take a coordinate, and then they will run a search at the Lands Commission. They will run a formal search. Now, it can take between some few days to 2 weeks or even a month. Within that period, take your time. And don't let anybody rush you that, oh, somebody else is interested. And so if you don't deposit money or if you don't pay, it's gone. Well, tell them that you would want the search to come out. Now, the search from the Lands Commission gives you a history of the land. People who have bought it, who have registered, who have ceded it to some other people. It gives you a whole history. Now, when you get that, and this is where a lot of people try to cut corners. They don't like to involve lawyers in some of their property acquisition processes. But give it to your lawyer or find a property lawyer, because there are certain things that a lawyer will find on the search that you may not be able to understand or grasp as a layperson. Okay. And so give it to a lawyer. The lawyer will explain and then tell you that, okay, you're good to go, or let's look at this again. And then when you are ready or you are satisfied that you want to go ahead and buy the land, you go to the owner, you make a purchase, you pay money. Now, don't pay physical cash. Always make sure you are leaving a trail for evidence sake. And so make bank payments. Okay. Like, oh, meet me here with this money. No, don't do that. Always make sure you're paying via a channel where you can get some evidence, preferably a bank account. Okay. Yes. And if you're buying from a company, make sure they're giving you a company account. If it's a company and they're giving you personal accounts, you should be concerned. Okay. And so once you make payments, your lawyer will ask for an indenture. A site plan will be generated. It's a barcoded site plan. And then you get an indenture, and then you go ahead and you register. That is if everything is supposed to go smoothly through the sale. And so these are the things you look at.
Okay. But then again, how do you know if a piece of land is suitable for construction? I don't know whether if Wilhemina will take this one.
Okay. So it is very important to actually find out or question the use of a land, because, you know, we have lands that are demarcated for residential areas. We have lands that are demarcated for commercial areas. That's why we have land use planning. And so before you seek to do anything construction, you need to get the right approvals. Every community has the municipal assembly, the metropolitan assembly, you have the district assemblies, and so it is up to you as a prospective buyer to ask the right questions. You need to get to know the right agencies where you can obtain those information from. For instance, if you are buying a land and you don't know, let's say, about a Ramsar site. You don't know that area has been demarcated for that, but you are so interested because you want to live in a bougie area and the Ramsar site looks attractive enough with other buildings, you would just make the biggest mistake of your life. So get the right approvals, ask the right questions, and beyond that, beyond even asking for the right questions or asking the right questions at these agencies, do what I call snooping around in the neighborhoods. Okay. A few days ago, I chanced on an article on Facebook where somebody indicated that some lands within the East Legon Hills Enclave previously used to be lagoons and lakes and things like that. So obviously, you know that those lands have problems right from the start and may not be zoned for residential usage. But over the time, sometimes we become relaxed with law enforcement and all these things. So get the right questions, so ask the right questions and seek the right agencies to know the land use demarcation for the plot you intend to purchase.
Okay. Now, and then if we're talking about high risk, how is someone able to determine if, a land is considered considered high risk for construction, basically? What are some of the things we're looking out for? Lilian wants to go, or Wilhemina?
So one of the things you need to understand would be drainage. That is, with reference to the subject of discussion being flooding, drainage is a very critical part of knowing the risk elements of the area you intend to invest in. And so you need to find out in that area, when it rains, what is the flooding situation like? How slopey is the area? What is the water retention content of the soil in that area? When it rains, does the rain get stagnated? How easy is it for the rains to just move or for the drains to carry the water away? You need to know all these things. Another thing you would also want to consider is, within that area, what is the nature of construction like? Very, very important. How is construction regulated within that area? The right construction materials we're talking about safety standards when it comes to fire. We're talking about access routes when it comes to building and making sure that you have the right emergency exits. A lot goes into these things.
But do you think a lot of our buildings in this country has all of that? Because there's this whole fire thingy. Does it? Like, do we have buildings that are ensuring that they're doing the right thing, the needful to ensure that this is the standard at the end of the day? Do we have such?
So we actually have what we call the Ghana Building Code. And so the issue is not a question of whether we have the standards. The issue is the question of implementation. That is where the issue is.
So we have the codes.
Exactly. We have the building codes, but we are talking about the systems to make sure, or the systems that are supposed to be making sure that these rules and regulations are enforced. I always call what I have this 3 word framework I usually use. We're talking about getting the right lands, we're talking about getting the right professionals, and beyond that, getting the right approvals. So if you need to get the right approvals, and the very systems that are to ensure that you have the right approvals are not functioning, we are back to ground zero. You can have the right land, you can have the right professionals, without the right approval, you have done zero. So yes, the codes are there, the rules and regulations are there, but what about the systems? Now, that is just one side of it. You also come to we the buyers, you come to we the stakeholders, you come to we the investors, we the developers, we the builders, we the artisans, and you ask yourself, most of the time, we know the right things to do, but do we do it?
Why aren't we doing it though?
Because I think that everywhere else in the world, people would want to do as they wish.
Exactly.
Everywhere else in the world. It's not just in Ghana. The difference is that in other jurisdictions, the system will compel you to do what is right.
Absolutely.
There are in other countries, you could put up a story building and the system could tell you that this is not fit for purpose and it will be brought down. Is that the case here? So people everywhere would want to do as they please. So it is up to the system to keep people in check. It is up to the system to insist that you cannot build here. I mean, I drove past the Ramsar site last Saturday, and I'm wondering, how did we get here? How did we get to this point where we have allowed people to build right into the water? How did we get to this? So the system is I mean, for lack of a better word, we are slacking when it comes to these things. And every year we know that around May, June, July, the rains will come anyway. I think we've become familiar. And so it rains, we have the usual rhetorics, and we do the shenanigans. And then the dry season comes and we go back to sleep.
About it. Well, we've got a lot of questions to ask because you are in the field, you're in the space, so I'm pretty sure you encounter people along the lines. We'll get into, women in the space of construction and building pretty shortly as well. But before we do that, though, can reclaimed wetlands be safely developed?
Can
Reclaimed wetlands, can they be safely developed?
I watched a documentary many years ago. It had to do with the construction of, I think, the palms in Dubai.
Yeah.
The palms and I think Jumeirah also. I mean, quite a number of developments in Dubai. And that was when I realized that land reclamation is something that was possible. With the right technology, with the right equipment, with the right professionals, who have the right requisite knowledge to do it. So we come to this country and we ask ourselves, one, even if it's a priority for us, is this something as a country we are willing to invest in? What is our priorities as a country, as a nation? Is that something we can fully commit to? Because you and I know that even the very basic things that has to do with life, which is health, which has to do with education, which has to do with social infrastructure, we are not getting that. So you come to something as complex as land reclamation, and it's a whole conversation that we cannot, for me, even start. We can look into it, for the near future, but it would take a lot, which I pray that our governments will be in the position to take up and actually make it a reality. But yes, it is possible.
It's possible.
It is.
Well, let's delve into what's happening down here in Ghana, in our country. I want to just go out and be blunt and ask, why are buildings collapsing?
Well, I think the answer is obvious. If you do not put up the structure well, obviously there are faults, there are mistakes. Corners have been cut, right building materials have not been used, you understand? And even sometimes the spaces within which certain buildings are put, you ask yourself, is it really the right place to put this building? And so the obvious answer is that the right thing wasn't done right from the start. And that is why buildings are collapsing. The ones that have been built, well, we have buildings that are over 100 years old in Ghana, and they still look very strong. You enter and you can feel that this is a well-built structure. As people in the industry that do the laywork, sometimes you enter a property and you can feel it, that there's something wrong with the structural integrity of this property, and then you lead your client somewhere else. And so the right things are not being done when it comes to construction in Ghana. The right cements, the right sand, the right people. Very important. Are we engaging the services of civil engineers, or because, again, we do not want to pay the right people the right amount, and so we will do what we do best, cut corners and bring it, oh, my friend's brother is at this, oh, he can do it for you, he did mine for me, you should see mine, and then you bring the person. But I feel when it comes to the conversation of real estate, there's so much money involved that why would you risk it by not doing the right thing? Because sometimes doing the right thing is actually cheaper. Getting the right professionals involved in your construction will actually save you a whole lot of money. Sometimes you think that you're cutting costs by bringing the lay person who doesn't know so much about construction, and you end up rather paying more when you compare to what you would have paid a professional to build for you.
Now, aKorfa, let me chip something in. Let me give you a scenario. Now, imagine a beautiful cake, having a beautiful cake, right? You know that you need flour, you need sugar, you need eggs, you need everything. But in as much as the finished product looks so tasty, looks so beautiful in appearance, imagine if the eggs and the sugar and the flour, they are not in the right proportions. You would see that on the surface, the cake appears to stand, but after a while, it will just collapse. it's just like that when you bring it into the building space. If the right materials, if the right proportions are not done, you cannot expect the building to hold. And for me, from where I sit as a property manager, the conversation even goes beyond construction to actual management of the buildings post construction. You have people who, beyond construction, maybe after a few years, would see cracks in the buildings, would see little leakages in the buildings, would see the drains are blocked, would see little things, and over time ignore. And the more you ignore, the more the problems compound, and the more difficult it becomes to actually deal with those bigger problems, because when the problems were smaller, you could have handled it. But the moment they get so overwhelming, you yourself become overwhelmed, and you sometimes don't even know where to start from. Not to talk of the financial obligation those problems, also comes with. So it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem, and I pray we can all do better.
What would you say to someone who feels like the problem is linked to, say, poor workmanship, for instance? What would you say to such a situation, a scenario?
Well, the thing is that what does a person mean first of all by poor workmanship? One, was it that the right professionals were engaged but they did not do the work well? That is one question.
Who was supervising?
Who was in charge? Exactly. What was supervision like? What was the contracts agreed on? Are there law enforcement agencies that can actually enforce those contracts? In Ghana here, we have a lot of situations whereby, it's okay, let's just settle it. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. But if we were to go via contracts, or if we were to go the contractual way, a lot of contractors will be sued or should be sued. A lot of people, a lot of workforces, a lot of artisans who are not the right thing who are not doing the right thing should have a taste of what it feels like to be asked to pay penalties for doing the wrong thing. Those will serve as deterrents. So it's difficult to just, put it in a blanket form that with poor workmanship. A lot goes into it. Sometimes you could have a very great artisan. He's forcing and pushing for the right standard of materials to be used for the construction. The client comes and tells him, let me just, use what I have. Would you manage it? If you go on site a lot, you hear the word, Lilian knows what I'm saying. Would you manage it? Just manage. And you'll be managing, and you'll be managing, and it will be managed.
Well, because it's costly, isn't it? So
as let me add to what my sister here said. So the responsibility lies on you, the person who is actually going to buy or rent, to make sure that what you want is what is done for you. And that's why supervising the project is so important. A lot of the time, people trust projects in the hands of people and they go to sleep. Or they are not even in the country, or they are traveling around, or they are busy with work, and so they do not have time to supervise. When you do not have time, there are professionals who you can pay to supervise the project for you. Your friend could go there and be on phone all the time because they also have stuff to do, or they may just pass by once in a week. So pay the right people to supervise your project for you, because I really don't think there's something like poor workmanship. What you supervise is what you get. And so if you pay attention to what is being done right from the start, and it happens a lot. Sometimes somebody will call you, say, Lilian, I have this property, it's in a mess. Most of the time they are not in the country. They trusted somebody to put up the property for them, and then they come, and when you enter the property, what you see, sometimes you are sad. Because when you hear the amount of money being paid, I'm like, why didn't you get a licensed, a professional construction company to do this for you? You leave this in the hands of these people, and now sometimes you need to now chisel the ground, chisel the walls, break down stuff, remove tiles. The cost of doing all those things is actually more than what you would have paid if you had simply contracted a professional to do the job for you.
Okay. Well, it's 7:31 right here on Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. The conversation has even just made me some way, because it seems so many people are doing so many things wrongly, and I don't know how, but hopefully just as our experts are saying, we get to the bottom of it, because we've got a long way to go. Now, a few more questions, and then we get into finding out how it is like being women in the space that you're in at the end of the day. Now, what should every home builder know? Okay, so the importance of using qualified architects and engineers, because a lot of what we've said already has started from that front, but sometimes people feel, I think I saw a post on social media sometime where people are asking, what really do engineers and architects do? Because like we hear the name, like we hear what the titles and everything, but people are still not sure exactly what they do. So I'm hoping you can shed a little bit more light on that for us. Yeah, let's do that.
So when it's interesting when you recommend a structural engineer. Oh, Lilian, but you can do this. I said, I'm not a structural engineer.
So we have a structural engineer.
Yes, they are structural engineers. And so what they will see when they stand in a property, when they look at the property, I may not be able to see it.
Right.
And that's why it's important to bring them. They will know even if the blocks that were used are the correct ones that we're supposed to use. See, structural engineers basically will tell you that this building has structural integrity. Means that it is stable, it is habitable, it can withstand rain, it can withstand wind, and sometimes even they should be able to tell you whether that place is an earthquake zone and you can withstand it or not. And so when you are on the market or you're looking to buy a property, bringing in a structural engineer is a non-negotiable thing that you must add to your cost of the purchase that you're going to do. You must make sure that you know that somebody who is a professional is telling you that, look, this property, you can go ahead and buy it. And when they tell you not to buy, please listen to them. They are not just saying something off-head. They are not saying it because they don't like the developer. They are saying it because if something happens, their integrity is at stake. And so they'll tell you the right information. You need to pay for their services. You need to involve them in the buying process as somebody who is interested in buying the property.
Right. So
let me add to that.
Go ahead and
beyond that, you also have to understand that, and that is where again asset management comes in. You see, the true value of a property is not just the aesthetics, but it's how safe the building is and how functional the building is able to serve the people that are in the building as well. And so if a property is on the market and you know that you want to invest in a property that can hold, let's say, 100 people, and the structural integrity of that building cannot support 100 people in that building, it means there's a problem. You cannot purchase. That's why Lilian is saying that you need that structural engineer.
Because you would not know it just by looking at the property.
You absolutely would not know.
Some people will count the pillars. Oh, there are so many pillars. So they think that is enough. That's not enough.
Okay. That's interesting, because I'm pretty sure I don't think a lot of people know this. Just as you mentioned earlier, someone will probably know a cousin who knows a brother who knows how to do something, and so then they'll recommend them and stuff like that. Because sometimes people feel the reason they, I think they like to compare prices as well, because people they have contracted to work for them, the belief is sometimes they inflate the prices. They inflate the prices, and so if you tell me that iron rod A is this amount, I question it basically. Do you think that's because people tend not to trust the professionals they work with then?
aKorfa, so money is not easy to come by.
It isn't.
So if I have a budget of 200,000 USD or 2 million cedis to buy a property or to build a house, I will not be taking quotations from just one person or one company. I would do at least 3 sit down and compare, and even go online, check the company out, check their previous developments and all that before I commit money to it. Because again, when it comes to real estate, even renters, the sort of monies involved, it's the only industry where the monies are not small monies. And so you need to do a lot of due diligence.
Yeah.
And so if you feel that this is invoice that has been given to you, it feels bloated or it doesn't feel right, contact another person, contact another contractor, another civil engineer, another person to get a clarification. Is this right? Definitely by the time you get 3, you would find a middle ground and know that one person is probably way overboard.
Okay, but still the quality products, you're still getting quality products. Okay. Well, you're brilliant women in your spaces, right? Are there more women in this field? And if not, because why is Mina smiling? If not, why do you think, we don't have a lot of women in the engineering and architecture space?
Okay, I think I'll probably take that and answer why I'm smiling, because, aKorfa, the reality is, yes, there are fewer women in this space than there should be. But the few women that are also the most brilliant, personally, I've come across. Now, that is one way I actually met my sister. I entered the industry right from school, national service, as a property valuer, assistant valuer. I went into valuations, did compensation valuations, things that you'd have to be on the field in boots, helmets and stuff like that, which wasn't very familiar. I didn't really have support. I didn't really have another woman telling me that, oh, you can do it. If you have a challenge, talk to me. I didn't have another woman opening up to me that, oh, you would find a bit of male egoism and this is how you can handle it. I didn't have any woman to speak into me that, you know what, being in the office is not the same as dealing with your boyfriend. So how you speak with your boyfriend should not necessarily be how you speak to your direct supervisor. A lot of things go into it. And when years later, when I realized that no, I didn't have that, I figured this was the perfect opportunity to create a space and give back. And so I started just bringing together young ladies I knew were in the field. It didn't start as a community. I started reaching out to young people who would reach out to me, ask me questions. I would speak with them, encourage them, and then eventually created a safe space that we can now dialogue and hear the stories of people like Lilian, people like myself, people like Anna, Akutu, and many others who are doing great in the industry. Hear their stories, and beyond their stories, learn from their stories, and now commit to do even better. Do you understand? So yes, there are a number of women in the space, but I wish there could be more. And also the final thing I'll add to that is many people or many women don't know that other professional dimensions exist in the industry beyond being on the field. We have people in this space that have come up with magazines. I don't know if you know about the Ghana Housing magazine. It's a real estate magazine, but she has decided to go the research way, creating content. That is one aspect of it. There are people who are into interior decor. Lilian does interior decor as well. I used to do interior decor as well. There are so many aspects that you can fit. You don't necessarily have to think of it as, oh, you are going into construction, so long as you are in real estate. And we will do our best to create more awareness with what we are doing with women in real estate, give to gain conversations, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, and that's why I was smiling all the way.
Now, interior decor women, don't you guys charge a lot? Because people
aKorfa, since you are concerned about the charge.
Yes, because a lot of the times I think people end up, using other services or cutting corners because they feel that these services are expensive. But then again, we know that the more we do it the right way, you get better service. Because I have seen some great decor stuff. I'm like, I will not sit down and think about this. So I understand that, but everyday Ghanaian, like the money.
But the issue is that when it comes to construction, real estate, interior design, and all those we're just scratching the surface. When you compare our progress to other countries are far ahead. And so we don't expect that. I mean, when it comes to people understanding the value of, say, an interior designer, it will be the same as somebody in a country like, say, Dubai or UK, or I mean, other advanced countries. So when it comes to real estate in general in Ghana, we're just scratching the surface. But I don't think we are doing badly at all. We just need to, I mean, do the right things and make sure that, again, like you're saying, people need to understand that it's a service that is being rendered. A lot of the time, people have a problem with paying for service in Ghana. They feel, what did you really do? But you didn't do anything. What they don't understand is that you're giving them something. It's a value. You're giving your time. You're giving your expertise to them. You're giving them something that will be functional. And that is not something that should come for free, you understand? So there's a problem when it comes to service delivery, paying for service and all that. But I still think we are not doing badly. We are working on all these different facets of the industry. I mean, we are top of our game. We are doing well. I think that in the next 10, 20 years, Ghana is going to be superb when it comes to construction. When you look around and you compare all that is happening, the infrastructure that is coming up, very functional infrastructure that is coming up. So I think we are doing well.
Okay. Well, let's get into some of your best and not so great moments in your space. Would you like to share a few of them? Like, while you're interacting with clients, like on a regular day, someone came to probably make inquiries and, it didn't go so well, and how you handled it and stuff like that. Would you mind sharing some with us?
There are too many.
A lot.
Just give us a few.
There are too many. Okay, I think I would share one. Since you talked about money, I'll talk about money. Okay. And so
money seems to be the main thing for a lot of people, isn't it?
Well, I remember meeting a client, and this gentleman wanted to sell his property, and luckily for him, I was able to get a buyer. Now, the buyers I got, both man and his wife were working in the same bank or in the same space, so it was sort of a bit easy for them to raise mortgage or to raise mortgage financing. Eventually, they were able to pull their resources together and offered for us to pay the seller. Here's where I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life when I was starting out. I was too trusting, and so when the buyer promised me, "Oh, Wilma, you know me. You know what I can do. When you get me this buyer, I will give you $5,000 flat off." You see the way Lilian is smiling? She knows.
She knows all too well.
And I was very excited because I had planned the things I would do aKorfa in my mind, what I was going to do with that $5,000. And so I never penned anything down. I never wrote it in or created any documents that would cause him to sign. I never made it legally binding on him to fulfill his end of the obligation. And eventually I was able to get this man and his wife to pay that much, the first transfer, and it was, after doing all the due diligence, of course, and they were able to pay $100,000. I called this man for my commission because we are done with the transaction, and he tells me, "Oh, Wilma pa, but I told you that if you are able to get me $105,000, I will give you the," keep your mouth like that, "I will give you the 5,000. I'll give you the $5,000 off it. Since they paid $100,000, where do you expect me to get the $5,000 from to give to you?"
Oh no.
I was shocked. I was heartbroken. I don't even think a man has broken my heart that way before. But that goes to show the level of or how we downplay integrity in this country, especially when it comes to real estate. So that's just one of the few experiences. So I keep telling the young ladies, especially that I interact with, let everything be on paper, in ink. Make sure you have a track record. Keep emails, keep receipts. Store everything. Google Drive is your best friend. Like, have a record. And don't be careless. Don't be disorganized. It can cost you. These are mistakes I made back then that now, even if I'm asleep, I can never make those mistakes. So that's just one of those experiences.
Lilian, what about you?
I think she shared one negative. So
you shared the positive. yeah.
So for me, I think that being in the real estate space has offered me the opportunity to meet some of the most amazing people in this country. I have two clients. One is in his 90s, and the other one is 86 years old. Wow. And they are two of my favorite clients, because these are people that when you sit down with, they leave you with a lot of life wisdom. They leave you with guidance. They love you. They call you to check on you, see how you're doing, how is work, and all that. And so I keep telling people in the industry, I keep telling people who are into sales, because basically what I do is sales, help guide people who want to make a purchase or who want to sell a property. And I keep telling them that money should be the last thing on your mind when you meet people. Don't start the conversation with money. Look to build a relationship beyond the business transaction. Let them understand that you care for them. You're interested in getting the very best property for them. You're interested in making sure that their investment is safe and secured. And once they trust you, you become more like family. I think I've made more friends in the past 7 years that I've been practicing as a real estate broker. And these are quality people. These are good people. These are genuine people. They guide you. They send referrals your way. They tell you you can do better. They encourage you. And so I think, it's been a beautiful 7 years.
I love that. Well, for young women listening to us now, what's your advice to them, especially those who want to be engineers and architects or be in your space, basically?
Okay, I think I'm going to merge it. So I'm going to talk to women who are looking to make an investment in real estate, and then I'm also going to talk to women who actually would like to learn or be in the space. So as women, anytime we see anything construction, automatically our minds are engineered to think, leave it to the men will handle it. But times have changed, and so if you are listening to me as a woman, I want you to take interest in learning about property, learning about real estate. If you didn't know, even the courts and the rules that pertain to property and dissolution of marriage and all those things are evolving, and so you need to understand what the property system in Ghana looks like or is like, and get actively interested in knowing more about the industry. Because you see, for women, having a home goes beyond the edifice. You are building the lives of children. You are building the destinies of children in that space. And so if anything goes wrong and you are out of that space, there's a problem. You have your kids. You understand where I'm going. And so it's important that you ask the right questions. Don't feel intimidated by construction jargons and construction technicalities. Ask questions. Be willing to learn. Don't feel embarrassed about things you don't know. If you are actively constructing a property with your spouse, go there yourself too. Don't just leave the decisions to the paint colors for you to choose. No, because you want a nice kitchen, it's only the kitchen you are concerned about. No, be involved. What is the documentation process like? Who is doing what? Ask the right questions. And for the women who would want to learn about real estate, I always say that experience for me has been the best teacher. There are things that I could probably have taken so long to learn, but once I offered myself to be in a space and watch and learn, I picked up a lot of things without having to learn or go to school for those things, and so offer to do something, volunteer to be in the space. You may be in the medical field, but weekends you can call Lilian, do you have any viewing? Can I go along? Can I tag along with you and see what is there? Wilma, how's your property management going like? This weekend, do you have any planned maintenance schedules? Can I come around and see what's like? put yourself in the space you see yourself belonging to, and actively program your mind to be the woman that you want to become. And finally surround yourself with the right people. I am here because my beautiful sister here asked me, oh, can I make it today? But it's because we are nurturing a relationship beyond the industry. We are trying to build and also carry others along into our fold. So surround yourself with the right people and you'll just be just fine.
Right. Lilian, do you have any add-ons?
Let me say this. There's this notion that, real estate, construction and all that is male dominated, and that's true. But the good thing is that the men in the industry are very helpful.
Okay.
They are super helpful. If you reach out to them, they are willing to listen. They are respectful. I mean, they are willing to share their experience. And it doesn't matter whether they are developers, because I've realized that so far, I've learned the most from the men in the industry than from the women. And so don't go with this mindset that, it's male dominated, you're going to be harassed, no. They are very good when it comes to nurturing, when it comes to mentorship. They'll mentor you, they'll tell you the things you need to do, the things you don't need to do. And so come in with a mindset that, look, I'm coming to work. I'm coming to run a brokerage. If you come in and you want to sell other things, how you sell yourself is how people will buy you. But if you come with the mindset that, look, this is strictly business and that I need your help, trust me, they are more than ever willing to help you, to guide you, share properties with you, go on viewings with you. Sometimes when you don't even have somebody to go on viewing with, you call them when they are less busy. They'll go with you just to act as protection and guide for you.
Okay. Alrighty, 7 more minutes to check out time here on Strong and Sassy on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm here with Lilian and Wilhemina. We're talking about construction, what you need to know. And I've got a few questions about people who rent as well, what they need to look out for and stuff like that. So I'll get to that pretty shortly. But I've got a few messages here. Patrick says, aKorfa, we have to bring Ghana Standards Board into the discussion. The cement, iron rods, blocks. Because I think a few people have also shared their concerns. They feel like what is being produced, the question is it up to the standard? Are they checking to see that what the requirements are exactly what they are at the end of it all? And then this one says, we need to get a team of professionals to check the companies manufacturing iron rods. My steel bender refused to use tons of iron rods I bought because he said it was of poor quality. It breaks when you bend it. Now that saved me. A lot of those poor quality iron rods are on the market. It is mostly mixed with the quality ones and difficult to detect. This could account for some of the collapsed buildings. The company quickly replaced the iron rods when I complained. So I'm also pretty sure that if we also speak about it, then the right thing will be done as well. Well, thank you very much for sharing this one with us. But do you ever get concerns where people say that stuff they've bought to build of substandard? Have you ever had such complaints come to you?
Yes, so I have had clients complain about, and that is where, again, like Wilhelmina said, we have a problem with enforcement. We have all the laws in Ghana. Our problem is just enforcement. But then I'll say this again. You are the one who is actually going to spend your money. And so do a bit of research. Don't just take hook and line whatever your contractor tells you. Do a bit of research. Do I need to buy this iron rod for a 2-story building, or I need to buy that? You should be able to do a bit of research, even if you don't know. And for me, that's one thing that I love about Ghanaians. Ghanaians will willingly give you advice even when you've not asked them. And so speak to somebody who has already built a house. Speak to a couple of them, and they will give you the necessary guidance. So it's something that's happening on the market. I think standard authorities should up their game when it comes to that.
This one says all that has to be said has been already. All that needs to be said has already been said. However, the biggest elephant in the room is persons in districts, assemblies, and institutions like Land Commission about land searching. Yes, we did same, and it took forever to get this basic information. Even with that, it had to take a real estate brother to make some calls to Lands Commission for us to get it. Why must it take more than a year to get information on land I I want to buy. The problem is individuals responsible for the system to work. They're sleeping, and until that changes, this will never end. People must be sacked. Vincent in New Legon says there should be a conscious effort to reach the layperson in Ghana who wants to own a property. This is because many ordinary people see the architects and engineers as elitist and very costly. And that was why I was asking that. When people hear engineers and architects, you're thinking, oh, this is very elitist, this is very costly, this is very quote unquote bougie. Can I afford it? So I like that the fact that you said that we need to ask a lot of questions. You also need to learn how to compare as well, so you know which one you're working with. And then again, the standards authority bids has to also be looked at, because I remember some time back there was a conversation on the timeline, so people are saying that the content of the blocks lately are not of standard, are not of quality, you know, and stuff like that. And so a lot goes into it. That's just you're saying you are in the space, and so you're letting us know that the codes are there, the laws are there, the policies are there. What we're left with is enforcement. I've got a question about my rent stuff. I need to get, because I want to find out quickly though, if someone wants to rent, what are some of the things that they can ask in terms of tenancy agreement? Because sometimes you make the payments before you get the tenancy agreement, and like even if there's something in there that doesn't really sit well with you, you've already paid the money and you're already in there. So what are some of the things that people who are renting should be looking out for?
I think even right from scratch, you should never pay any money until, for me, you have a look at the tenancy agreement and review. Yes, there are landlords that will not wait on you, and so you can afford to put some form of deposit that you can actually do away with, a deposit that may not be so costly for you, but just so that you can have ample time to review the tenancy agreement. And like Lilian said earlier on, there is no harm in getting even a lawyer to have a look at the tenancy agreement that the landlord will give you. There are so many clauses that may not favor you as a tenant, and so you need to know what you are getting. You need to know what you are able to change in the apartment. You need to know what you are, especially let's say if it's a block of apartments, you need to know, are you having access to generator services? Are you having access to backup water supply? I mean, are you having access to a car park in the apartment and things like that? And beyond that, when you are also going or looking for properties, please look beyond the fine paintings and the fine coats of painting externally and internally. Look for damp, look for cracks, look for pungent smells, drainage smells, look for plumbing issues, look for taps that cannot close fully, that looks like they are leaking, look for the colors of the plaster boards. Look and see if there are any form of leakages in the plaster boards. I mean, just take yourself out, and if you don't have an expert eye, that is why it's important to get professionals to go along with you for those viewings, because they will be able to identify things that you as a layperson cannot. And I say this to add that for the institutions like Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Ghana Institute of Architects, Ghana Institution of Engineers, I think we also need to do better. And in recent times, Ghana Association of Real Estate Brokers, and there's one more I've forgotten, but we need to also do better with advocacy. It's not enough just the radio shows, the TV shows, the podcasts are excellent, but we need to look at community outreaches in the local dialects. And even if it is on the radios and in the podcasts, we still can replicate education in the local dialects for the people to know what they can actually do, who they can actually go to. Yes, if you cannot come to me as an architect, and maybe you have a good draftsman who submits to an authority, you can go there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Surveyor Wilhemina Forson, who is Valuation and Estate Surveyor, also Property and Facilities Manager, and to Lilian Nartey, who's founder and managing broker, Serene, Aegis, Realty. Thank you so much, ladies, for spending some time with us here. It's been a very good conversation. We appreciate it, and we're hoping to bring you back again some more, because there's more to learn as well. Have a good evening, and I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you for having